location.
Let's go.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's chilly.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh boy. So how's
TGIF.
everybody doing?
Doing fair to partly cloudy.
Cloudy. I haven't seen stars in a while. It's been cloudy, overcast. And then next week, I believe, I didn't look at it too much because I don't follow the weather that much, but it's supposed to be raining all week. Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to the post office because the company said, "Oh, your package should be there waiting for you." I go down there and the mailbox is empty, and I'm like, "Oh man, I had to leave the house for this."
Wow.
And they gave me extra so that I could give some stuff out too. So that's what I was going to do with members and stuff like that, because I think it'd be cool, and it shouldn't be too much on shipping. And if then I can kind of talk them into maybe sponsoring survival seeds too.
What did you get from them? If you don't mind me asking.
I can't say. I want to make it a surprise.
I got you.
Because I got to do a review on it first.
Oh, okay.
Plus, I got another review I got to do up in the grow room. Another company sent me grow lights.
Nice.
These ones are nice. They got actually a really nice timer on it. You can time it for 4 hours, 8 hours, or 12 hours.
Nice. Built into the light.
Yeah. All on the little clicker and everything.
Nice.
Yeah. I got some other another one that I got from a company, but I'm kind of still using it, but I didn't want to do a review on them because the switch is faulty. And I told him, I said, the switch on it isn't any good. I said, it works half the time. Sometimes it doesn't. So they said, oh, that's okay. Do a review on it. I'm like, how do I do a review when the light doesn't come on all the time? And they didn't want to send me another one. So I said, well, I can't do a review on it because I don't feel comfortable. Just because you give me a product, I'm not going to do a review if I think it's junk, unless they, pressure me. Oh, we sent you this, you have to do it. And I'll do a review and tell them this is a piece of junk. I wouldn't get it if I was you.
I'd do it if they let me give an honest review. Now, if they didn't want a bad review, I could see why.
Well, I tell them, I said, they'll ask me if they want to work together on a project, or and I said, sure, but if I'm not comfortable with the product, I won't do a review. I'll just, put the product in a box with the rest of the things that I've got that I don't do reviews on because I don't know. I would feel bad if somebody got something and a couple weeks we're doing it live and they say, I got this thing and it's a piece of junk.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's another grow light. Oh man, this thing is awesome. It lights up a whole area, but it's made so flimsy and stuff that you just can't use it. But I did take these apart and rewire them into another thing to where all I just do is plug them in, and it works. So
Nice. I remember last year when you plugged in that high bay light.
oh man, I didn't expect it to be that bright.
Yeah, they get bright and they get super hot.
Yeah, yeah. That I don't even have that in my. It would
That's
be good in the garage, right over where a work spot would be,
yeah.
or if you're going to operate on somebody.
Or if you want to see with your eyes closed.
Yeah, but I don't. I'm still using a extension cord to run power out to the garage. One day, hopefully, I'll have the money to dig a trench and run it into the.
We could fly Watt up there. He could bury some conduit and run the wire out there.
If I can ever make my way up there, I'll hook you up. Whenever it warms up.
I didn't find it's AI. AI will make anything you want. That's why people need to be careful. Right now, there are phone calls being made with, and this is allegedly, with Trump's voice and with Musk saying that they have a check ready for you. All they need is your
routing number, right?
Yeah. And shoot, you have no money left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean,
opportunists everywhere.
Who would believe Trump calling them and telling them, "Hey, we have your check ready for you"? I kind of wish that they would call me, because I would hold on, and I'd get everything in my room set to record just to record this, because it'd be so funny.
Yeah.
Lori's World, she used to do when a telemarketer would call her, she would go through all this stuff, and they'd tell her, we need to get access to your computer, and and she'd run them around circles, until they get upset and start screaming and hollering.
Dude, I never get lucky, man. I always get the computer. I don't never get the real people anymore. I rarely get a call, but if I do, it's a robot. You know what I mean? I can't play with the robot. It ain't fun.
Yeah, and you'll say hello, and they'll say hello, and if you don't say nothing, is there anybody there? Duh, you answer with hello, so
something's there.
Then that's like click, block.
Oh, I probably blocked 10 or 12 calls today. It drives me nuts.
Oh, that's all I've been doing for the last year.
That's big business, selling people's phone number.
That or somebody that doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's okay. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm low on the list. They just send bots my way. They don't even dignify me with a real person anymore.
The worst is when they come to the front door.
Well, it's either a robot or, hello, my name is Christopher.
I'd rather get
sure you can't even say your name.
Yeah, I'd rather have Coach Full. I could mess with him,
Why do they pick American names when we know that's not your name?
Well, not only that, but if you're trying to straighten something out, like with a credit card or some other bill, these companies that are based here, they outsource customer service overseas, and
Yeah.
I had to make 3 attempts. Honest to God, 3. I said, "Sir, I can't understand a damn thing you're saying. I'm serious."
Yeah, I've done that before. I said, "Is there any way I could switch to somebody else? Because no offense,
Yeah.
I don't
Oh
know
no,
what
I
the
was
hell you're
nice about
saying."
it. I'm just like, the conversation it's a moot point. I don't understand you. So
Hello, my name is Jeff.
my name is. Where are you calling from? Chapukta, India.
Uh, yeah. Oh, what was it? Oh, dang it. Oh, um, the medicine ingredients to make the pills and everything. Um, there was a guy going out asking people where is Bayer and Tylenol and all that stuff made, and he would ask them, and people say, "Oh, it's in the United States." No, and then they keep going and going and going, and it was you know India and China, um, and people are like shocked. I'm like, where's everybody been?
Yeah.
It's like 90% of it is made in another country. If there is made in the United States, the stuff it's made from comes from China and
Right.
India, and the stuff that India gets, majority of it comes from China. So it's still coming from China.
That's like try finding a tire that's built in the U.S.
Yeah, I
A
don't know.
radial motor tire. They still do, but the majority of them are
It's
overseas.
about 30 minutes from me over in South Carolina. There's a Bridgestone plant, and they
Oh,
still
that's good.
produce. They still produce some tires.
Yeah.
Their lines have changed over the years, but they still, however that process is done, yeah.
Probably
I mean,
more
they'll
robots
there's still
now.
a lot of plants that'll recap a tire for like trailers and tractors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't trust the recap on the front of a tractor, but trailer's one thing. But
Yeah.
as I got 4 tires actually put on my truck today, and they were, I believe it was Thailand,
I
but
watched.
they got a 60,000-mile warranty in writing. So I mean, it's
Mm.
that's where they come from.
I watched this one channel that was just the wife for a longest time going out there and doing stuff, and she would work on her truck, and then she bought a lawnmower, and they bought 3 acres of land that was real high stuff up in Canada, and they bought a riding lawnmower, and she was out there mowing the grass with this, or not the grass, but the weeds and the brush and stuff. And whatever area she's in, it's like really marshy. Um, so it's not the easiest.
Yeah.
And uh, tires went bad, so she decided, well, I'm going to change the tires myself. And this riding lawnmower is big enough to where the tires were filled with water. Well,
Wow.
So she didn't put any liquid back in. And so I don't understand why this is on here. And I'm just waiting. And I can imagine, I said, I can imagine all the people writing in the comments. And then she's out there. She changed the tires, and she's out there, and she's just spinning around like crazy. And she couldn't understand it. And she's the next day she came back out and said, Well, I found out by watching a couple YouTube videos why they put water in the tires. That's that extra weight to hold you down.
Right. Yeah, Grace, I checked. She's talking about the expiration date, or actually it's the born on date, not the expiration date.
Oh,
The four I put on that I had put on today were all 2024. So,
that was one of the main selling points of my truck when I bought it, because he had just put $1,000 worth of tires on there, and this was before 2020 thing, so the prices were cheaper back then still, but they're really nice tires, big hefty mud tires,
yeah.
and well, now I know why, because that the tires were the best part of the truck, but all the problems I've went through with that thing, but because a couple other ones that I went to, because it sucks to have to you buy a vehicle and then you have to buy tires for it right off the bat. That's a big lump sum.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
having good tires on a vehicle was a major plus. So as soon as, it ran good for a good while until I put soil in the back of the truck, and then the front axle on the driver's side started going out. And then when I went to go replace it, or he went to go check on it, he jacked it up, and soon as he went under there and went to grab it to shake it and see if it was bad or good or anything, it fell to the ground.
Wow.
Wow.
So it was just hanging there. How it didn't, drive
That sounds like
around.
a control arm failure. Just boom. Or a spindle.
Well, they have kits now. It's not so much the axle itself. They have kits that you just replace the kit now. So once the kit goes out, then it's pretty much obsolete. The passenger side was fine, but then after
Was this
that,
4-wheel drive, Bush?
yeah,
You couldn't put another axle on the right side? It
you
wouldn't
mean the
be worth
passenger
it.
side? The passenger side was fine. It was the driver's side
Wow.
that was bad. And then the computer thingy inside the transfer case, and the wires needed replaced after that. Because I went to Wendy's of all places, and we're in a drive-through. I go to drive, and it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And they opened the window. Is there anything else? And I said, sorry, but I can't get my truck in gear. And I'm just gonna come out. She's a big woman. She said, hold on, and she comes out there, and one little short guy, and they pushed the truck
Yeah.
into a parking spot.
Oh,
I
wow.
was like, thank you. Wasn't asking for anybody to come out or anything. I was getting ready to do it myself, but she just goes
Man,
out there. Woof.
that was a blessing.
Yeah.
Man, you got better service in one trip than I did my whole life of patroning Wendy's. And I don't even patron them no more.
Yeah, I miss 4-wheeling. Well, in the snow, that is, I should say.
Oh, I had to put it in 4-wheel drive twice this year already.
Yeah. Because
And most
I
time
ended up.
it doesn't bother me because just used to it.
Right.
But when they don't do anything with the road, our road,
Yeah.
because it's brick. So trying to get up the hill sometimes is a task because there's a stop sign and then hill. So either I run the stop sign, or which I usually do when it's real bad anyway. I just kind of coast up and I kind of look and then I go.
Oh,
I remember
California roll.
the morning I left Jersey to move to Florida, they had a snowstorm that night, and then it iced over, and I'm like, oh, this is great. So I had a U-Haul tandem axle trailer and a GMC Jimmy full size, and I couldn't barely budge it out of the driveway. It was just frozen stuck, and I'm like, Jersey, you're sticking it to me one more time before I get out of here. So I just put it in 4 low, and I changed my hubs out where they're manual. You got to get out and turn them.
Oh,
That
okay.
way the axle's not always turning even though the transfer case is in 2-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And boy, that truck worked its butt off. You could hear the ice popping and cracking. I finally got the whole mess out. That was it. Never looked back. Oh wait, black ice on the Delaware Memorial Bridge. That was scary. That kind of got me sideways a little bit, but after that, it cleaned up.
Well, you see these new trucks now that if you start sliding, the back wheels and
Yeah.
the front wheels will turn into it
Mm-hmm.
to where you don't go, spinning out of control. Because a lot of times people, even experienced people, will, and once you go too far over, and then you try to kick it back over, and then you spin out of control.
The one thing with that, I mean, it's fascinating technology, but what happens on one day when that computer decides you're
not
sliding or skidding, and you really aren't? One wheel's going one way and the other's going the other.
Your rear end is in the next lane. Hey,
Right. I like
there?
to be in as much control as possible when I'm in a vehicle.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
it
why I
would
don't
kind of be
drive with
cool
them.
because they showed it going around turns and stuff, and I don't know if that would be, because it kind of seems like your gravity, or going around the corner. It's almost like if you watch the uh, Gravedigger and all those ones that have the wheel drive, the back wheel drive and stuff,
Right.
when they turn fast, they flip.
Mm-hmm.
It's because there's no slide to it, and all that momentum is pushing them over.
It's funny you said that. I don't know what version of Gravedigger it was, but I just caught it on the tube last night, and he went over the bunny hops and he got a lot of air. I mean, he was way up there. And when he came down, bounced a couple of times, and he turned on his side. Literally, he was laying on his side, and he just nailed the throttle, and the truck kept spinning like a top.
Yeah.
And it righted itself. It literally hooked up and got upright again.
It's amazing how the technology, those things has progressed since I've seen them in the 80s.
Well, remember Bigfoot, the blue Ford?
Yeah,
that's what started it all.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Speaking of going around, spinning out and turning, did you know it was today in 1948 that the National Association for Stock Car Racing was formally incorporated?
In 48?
Nice. It was founded by
it was down in Daytona Beach, wasn't it? They were racing on the beach.
William Bill France Sr. He had an auto mechanic shop in Washington, D.C., of all places, and he moved down to Daytona Beach, Florida, in around the mid-30s. And him and a group of friends got together, and that's the rest is history. And that was today in 1948.
That's neat.
Huh.
They used to race on the beach, the Daytona Beach.
Yeah, we
What
got a
was
place here, Diamond Lakes. It was one of the original circuit tracks they had back in the day, and there's still parts. If you go, like, it's a big park now. There's a library, basketball courts, ponds. But if you go back in the back, there's still sections of the old track that you can walk across. They never tore up.
That's
Man,
neat.
think about trying to clean up that 300-pound
What was it?
fruitcake.
Mm.
300-pound
300-pound
fruitcake.
fruitcake.
How the
Oh,
hell did
that's
you
a
get that one?
that's a meteor. That's a
Who
baby
did it?
meteorite.
Well,
Either
B
Grace or
just
Dana or well,
tossed it
okay,
on
B
her own
did it.
self.
Oh, she done. Wow. Well, that's all right. She's normally dumping dirty socks on people, so she's, you know.
It's okay. I usually get
That's got to
kicked.
be something to see.
A
Be picking up a
300-pound.
300-pound and dumping it on
Mm.
her head.
Oh man.
Mm.
Oh
I was
no!
thinking about making a sandwich, but now fruitcake. No, I lost my appetite.
Yeah, as soon as you say sandwich,
Sandwich. Yeah.
there you go.
What? Dumb Trent. She's a busy bee tonight. Wow.
What does that even mean?
Remember what that movie about Wendell Scott?
Saliva.
Oh, dang it!
What the hell is even that?
Richard Pryor.
What in the hell is even that? It's Richard
Yeah.
Pryor and who else?
About Wendell Scott. I think that's what he played.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Dang, what was that movie? I'm gonna have to look it up.
I'm thinking of a movie, but it's probably not the one you're thinking of.
Someone in chat will get it. I saw Richard Pryor
yeah,
the
it
other
was
night,
Wendell Scott because
and he was playing a doctor, even though he wasn't.
who?
Richard Pryor.
Doctor.
Yeah, I forget the name of the movie now because I was just surfing through the channels and I hit the info button and somehow he got caught up into he was running from somebody and then he ended up posing as a doctor in a psycho ward. And I don't know. I didn't watch the whole thing, but
He was born in August 29th, 1921,
Wow.
and died in December 23rd of 1990
Mm.
in Danville, Virginia. Both evidently he didn't leave that area.
Mm.
First
Wow.
African American NASCAR driver. First African American winner of the NASCAR Grand National Series.
Richard Pryor was?
No, Wendell Scott.
Oh, I was about to say, man,
I was going to say hi to Pappy and I don't.
he had an entirely different life I didn't know about. Man.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I don't think I've seen it. I'm gonna check it out.
So, is there any way to make an AI picture out of the governor of Maine's face? After
all you got to do is give them a name and tell them what you want to do with it.
did you see what
I
the
want to Google
president
that
did today?
Oh,
They were at that
are you
luncheon.
talking about the Maine?
Yeah.
Oh man, we ain't giving you no money until you fix your stuff.
He's that's the big boss man. He's not taking it.
Oh,
She says, "Well, I'll see you in court." He says, "Fine. It's better that way anyway."
All right, I Googled it. That is pretty brutal.
Trying to find the name of that movie now. Dang, he did do a lot of movies, didn't he?
Thanks a lot, Eric.
Yes, sir.
And it's I don't. I mean, he was a funny guy. I mean, but so the movies that he wasn't funny
Oh yeah, he's a good
were
actor.
really good movies.
Yep.
And I'm not seeing that movie. Quiz, no.
There's a lot of those guys stand up. It was pretty funny. A lot of that stuff you probably couldn't say now,
No.
as far as the comedy world goes.
Um,
But the way I look at it, if you're going to a comedy club, don't go there with if you can be offended by something. You know what I mean? 'Cause
You don't got a thick
it's
skin,
like
right?
it's like being on a diet and going to the buffet. You know what I mean? It just don't make sense.
Being on a diet,
yeah.
driving by Golden Corral every day.
Golden Corral.
They had the
Oh, I guess it is Grease Lightning. I didn't think it was
chocolate
Grease
fountain.
Lightning.
That's right. Now I've seen that movie. Now I remember that movie.
Yeah, I seen the Grease Lightning. I'm like, is that what,
Yeah.
what it was called?
They were driving those old Chryslers.
19 that came out in 1977.
Mhm.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah, they them big old Fords.
Fords and Chryslers, yep.
Yeah.
Remember when he set himself on fire by accident?
That
Richard Pryor?
that was his real life though.
Yeah,
That's
I know. That's what I'm saying.
oh okay. I was gonna say that that wasn't in the movie. He talks about that was a part in JoJo Dancer or whatever
Yeah.
because it was pretty much his life thing.
That's fire.
That was from smoking
Richard Pryor.
Yeah, Richard Pryor.
smoking some bad stuff.
The worst thing about fire is when I had my accident, I was what, 16, 17? And you know what burnt hair smells like?
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. So I didn't have any eyebrows left. And I had those chest high waders because we were stream fishing. And it wasn't first degree burns or third degree. Third degree burns kills the nerve. Second degree burn doesn't. And that was wicked.
Yeah,
And
that
was
usually second is more painful.
It is, because they had to peel a layer of skin every day off of my arms from that fire. That was nasty. I shouldn't even be alive, really, but
Did it have something to do with gasoline?
it had to do with you know how at the end of a guardrail is curved? You know, it's rounded back, curved back.
Yeah.
That went right through the back of the gas tank because we hydroplaned on this road.
Oh.
And we were driving a Chrysler Cordoba or Monaco, and we had bucket seats, and that guardrail came right through. I got knocked out because my forehead took out the windshield. And when I woke up, I went to get my friend who was the driver, and I hit my funny bone on this piece of metal, and it was the rounded edge of the guardrail right in between the both of us. It was bad. It was a real bad scene. I shouldn't. The trooper that was looking for us, he could see the smoke from like 4 miles away. This was up in Stoke State Forest, up in PA, and yeah, it was bad. And it was Palm Sunday, and I remember they couldn't. I don't want to make this about me. Anyway, they couldn't get a hold of my folks because they were at church, and I kept telling the doctor, "Give me a shot," because pain.
He couldn't.
No, I was under 18.
Yeah.
And finally he just looked at me and I'm like, will you just I'm not going to tell you what I said to him. And he did. He juiced me and juiced my cut in my forehead. And then, then I had a nice nap.
A nice nap. Wow, Pam Greer.
I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you're here.
I am too, brother. I shouldn't be. And the hospital was so crowded back where I lived that we ended up on a maternity ward, me and my friend. So that was the only rooms left. So all we heard was crying babies all night.
Yeah, that Washington. There's a new series. I forget what it's called. Oh, The Pit. I don't. And I think it's. I don't know if it's Pittsburgh or it's Washington, somewhere in Washington. But it's supposed to be like the real thing, and it's like six hours is the minimum you'll wait in the emergency room there.
Wow.
And there's people out there with bandages and stuff.
Yeah.
They go out there and dress bandages and say, "Well, wait here. We'll be with you in a bit."
Yeah, we had it was Newton Memorial Hospital, and they had those doors, those automatic doors that open up, they slide open.
Yeah.
And that was the entrance to the ER. And when we walked in there, I had a white T-shirt on, and it wasn't white anymore. And you want to see all these people move out of the way. It was like the Red Sea party. I swear to God, they're all just looking at me. And that was a bad day.
That I was sitting there looking at the time message that popped up, and I was doing some research on the canning lids and stuff, and
The who?
how canning lids.
Oh,
And because I learned a lot about canning lids going to a factory, and I wanted to, what other companies make canning lids in the United States, and there's only one. Well, the thing is, I should put it another way. Ball makes canning lids in the United States, but they get their metal from recycled metal from India. You know what the recycle? It's all a bunch of old cars and their waste over there, basically.
Scraps,
is what
Yeah.
they're using, and the lids in the rings are made from two different metals. So the lids are from, or the rings are from China, and the lids are from, the metal is from India. So if you ever wonder why, if you're that kind of person that leaves your rings on after you can something, and then you go to take it off and it's corroded and stuff, it's because it's two different kinds of metal.
Yeah.
And when
they have a reaction.
it's a chemical reaction between
Yeah, different metallurgy.
Yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
And there's the four jars lids. I think it's 4 jars or 4 something like that. They're not even made in the United States. They're from China or somewhere, and they're shipped over. That's the other big company.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, and the Superb lids, all made here with American metal. They get they're still someplace in Pittsburgh that sells the metal, and their rings are the same metal too. So you could leave the rings on.
Good product.
Oh yeah.
What?
Um,
How about putting
and
like a layer of lard between the two metals? You know, just the thin. Would that help?
it'd still be a chemical reaction
Yeah.
probably. Um, but um, and they're and I actually researched, which I already knew about the 4 jars, but the thickness of the lid for the Superb ones are almost double what balls are, and more than double what the 4 jars are.
Hmm.
And that was my rabbit hole for the other day. I was going down looking at the jars and stuff, because I was thinking about and how this started was I was thinking about something to can. So I was thinking about doing, because my son likes black beans. So I was thinking about doing black beans, and I'm like, because black beans, well, there's a lot of beans like this, but black beans, you soak them for 24 hours
Yeah.
because within a lot of beans, if you don't soak them, the cooking process, there's something in there that will actually draw the nutrients out of your body. So, like if you eat them and you go to digest them, it'll pull nutrients from you, and out it goes. So if you soak them, it doesn't do that. You get the nutrients from the bean itself. I'm not sure what it's called, but yeah,
More times than not, if I ever make dry beans, I always soak them overnight.
yeah,
Um, for that whatever reason, like you just said, and it's my mom always did it, and that was just, it's always
yeah.
the thing we did.
But there is a scientific
Oh yeah, there's a
thing.
reasoning for it.
Yeah, but um, I always thought it was, so you wouldn't fart as much.
Well, I debunked that myth. I promise you, that's been
Well,
debunked.
all you got to do is take some Beano after your meal, and you don't
Hey,
have to worry about it.
there'll be no gas later.
Beano before, quiet after.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
the more I think I'm, because
Allegedly.
my son didn't
allegedly,
like, the
good call.
stuff that everybody usually eats from down south, like collard greens and stuff like that,
Now you
beans. And
talking.
now, now I've been cooking it, adding it to, like
Do you like collards?
New Year's Eve,
I
the
love
black
collard.
eyed peas. Oh, he's in love with black eyed peas now.
No.
You got to have a big ham hock though in the collards.
Oh yeah, I got the smoked ham hocks in there.
Oh, a boar's thigh in there.
Now I'm getting hungry again.
I ate. I'm good. Y'all can talk about whatever food you want.
Wait, milk and honey. What kind of poo spray do you have?
What's going on with this?
Is that? Are you being a prankster?
Yeah,
Fresh
you get a
potpourri.
letter from her in the mail. You better be careful. Woo!
I heard about some stink beans you got sent, Charles. So I'm well aware of the fun stuff.
They're not too bad. You if you well, you get 10% off if you use my code, but um, there are certain times of the year where you get them. They have sales and stuff, so that's a good time to buy them up. Oh, trying to think. I think it's around June is when they, because of the summit, because they have a big summit up here in Ohio. Yeah, if you ever want to do a meetup, that would be a good place to do a meetup. Go to the summit because Tammy from Rebel Canners will be there, and um, I'm not sure who's going to be up there with her, but Wide Family Farm was up there. Who else was it? Oh, I can't remember her name now, or her channel name.
Man, we're gonna have to make a summit, a southern summit.
Well, they do have some that down south, but I don't know where that they were going to. But I don't think they hosted it like they do up here.
Well,
And you see the Amish making stuff and all that. It's cool. I just hope it's not as hot this year. Oh man, 110 degrees. And how Tammy did that in that heat, I don't know, because they were back there with these big industrial cookers
oh yeah.
canning in a tent with no breeze. Oh man.
I know we're gonna get the heat down here. I just hope we get a little bit more rain than we did last summer.
Yeah.
That was dry.
Yeah.
I know it was dry
I'm
for y'all
looking at all
too.
this rain we're getting now, and I'm like, where was this, in the summertime when I needed it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Our river is up over the banks right now. I don't have nothing to worry about. If it makes it up here, then we got a lot more to worry about than than a river, because the whole town will be under probably 30 feet of water.
Our little section of the Savannah River looked good. Yeah. Hopefully this rain continues through the summer, I hope. Talking about collards, I got some collards. I got going now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Well, I've just planted them within the last couple of days or so, but yeah.
So far,
yeah.
all I've planted was the hyssop, and some herbs.
That's what I wanted to ask you about the flowers. I know it can vary, but like flowers, is it best to just direct sow them outside, or would there be any that would be a benefit to start inside early?
Uh,
Regular flowers and
Down
or
there,
edible or herbal.
yeah, down there probably just direct sow. I know there are some that are um, weak to the cold, but I would just look at the package and see if it says that it has to be,
Yeah.
inside until way after a frost time.
Mm-hmm. Probably get some started. I'll probably get a few started on my next batch when I do some herbs.
Yeah, what trying to remember what I planted.
I already know I planted way too much.
Yeah, and they're ready for me to put them in pots. I got some bigger pots that I'm gonna for the purslane, because I'll have, is it four or six of those? I can't remember how big the tray was,
Yeah.
but those I can plant in the same pot because it'll grow like crazy. It'll spread anyway.
Oh yeah.
I have to keep it upstairs because it is poisonous to cats, or toxic.
Well, it's about that time because I went to the couple of your big box stores over this week, and they've already got their greens and stuff out front. You know what I mean?
Oh wow, must be nice.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind on some of the stuff I should have had going, so I planted a little bit extra just to, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I do have tomatoes, but they're going to be indoor tomatoes anyway. They're just the little guys, dwarf guys.
I did 36 tomatoes, 6 each of 6 different varieties to start out, and all of them but 2 germinated. And then
Well, that's
we'll
not
see
bad.
how those do. And then I got some couple different varieties of cherry tomatoes. I got them started this evening. Uh,
Um,
and my peppers, I got a bunch of them going.
if you can get seeds and plant them in pots or something, you can see the difference in the stuff that grows wild and the stuff that you know having good soil and whatnot. Um, the leaves are like double the size, much more better for you know making a salad and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's basically all I'm gonna do with it is just make salad and I might pickle some. Oh. But I'll probably maybe the first week of March, maybe second week I'll start mine. Still probably too early because I do that every year, and I'm like transplanting, transplanting, transplanting. And I end up with big old pots. But um, if I have to, I can I can move them into the basement. Um, well, my tomato plants because have you ever wondered you go to the nursery and it's a little bitty old plant, but it's got a big old thick uh, stem on it. It's because when they first start growing it, it's in heat and light. They then take it and put it in a cold area with light, and it grows slow, but it doesn't grow up. It just grow the roots grow bigger and the stem gets stronger. But you have to have that light like right close to it. So, because if you raise it up too far, then it's going to try to and get leggy. The nursery we have here, the lady took me and showed me some of what they got, where they grow and everything, and they had a dark room, and it was you could tell it wasn't heated like the greenhouse was. And there's a special word for it. I don't know what it is. Yeah, the cat one's probably pretty old by now because I added that like 3 years ago, I think. Unfortunately, the places that do the script where it has to connect to, they don't stay up very long.
We just recently demoed some lights at a business, and I saved a couple. They're 8 foot set. They're 8 foot lights,
Oh,
and I'm gonna take the ballast and stuff out of them and retrofit them and make them where I can put these 8 foot LED bulbs I got in them. And I've got like old appliance cords and stuff like that. It wouldn't be nothing to retrofit it.
yeah, yeah. Only if you knew electrician or something.
Only if, the world was that small and that easy. You're right. I don't know. I probably could do a video, like a tutorial of how to do that, but I don't know if they would allow it. They allow something like that on the tube?
Yeah, you could, because you are a professional, so
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I
yeah,
always thought about posting like little videos and stuff like that. I just don't know if they allow it to what degree. I mean, I know there's electrical channels.
yeah, because you get these ones that. Well, I sent you some videos.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You got to wonder, how did that work?
It worked until it didn't work anymore. Then it was a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the way they got it wired up in the garage, I think I'm going to end up having to redo it somehow. I was sitting there looking at it and trying to figure out, how does that work? How's the power get there? How does it go over here?
And then like a lot of times when we wire up houses, we bring power to a switch, and then that switch will then in turn operate a light, fan, or whatever. But at one time and phase, a lot of people, they would bring power to the light, and it would be switch fed from the light to the switch. And if you didn't know that or didn't know that theory, you would just be sitting there trying to figure out why the heck is no power getting over here. And you go up
Oh,
there, take down the light, and it's a bad connection or something like that, and now you
yeah.
got power back to your switch.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen that
Or
all the way around.
a lot of times there wasn't a lot of lights or ceiling fans in homes, so a lot of homes had that one switch that would operate like a receptacle, and that was your lamp switch.
Oh,
Pretty sure
yeah,
you've seen that.
yeah,
The receptacle that's operated by the switch. Yeah.
yeah. Or, um, well, even in here, which I had to redo, um, you hit one of the switches, and it would turn the light on, which was a ceiling fan too, and uh, the TV.
Really?
Yeah, they had evidently somebody ran another line
They
from the
added
light
in the
switch
ceiling fan probably.
it was from the light switch to the receptacle.
Oh, they added in the receptacle off of that power source from the switch.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and if somebody went and wanted to watch the movie in the dark, shut the light
Oh
off,
man,
the
that would
TV
be
go off.
horrible. Yeah.
Uh, so I ran a whole line all the way to a new breaker.
Yeah.
There was some weird ones like that here.
Yeah.
Like in here, there was just one, and I I have a gaming system, so it sucks a lot of juice. And if somebody was, because you got to think this is old house, because it's usually one floor has one to one breaker. So when somebody would run uh, the the microwave, there goes my computer. I
Yeah.
have to go down and hit the breaker. Um, and yeah, eventually I ran a new one all the way into its own
Dedicated
breaker.
outlet, dedicated circuit.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
and
that was the thing, yeah. Because when we wire up homes now, all microwaves get their own dedicated circuit just for that purpose.
yeah, which I need to do that, because I figured, well, it should be okay. The microwave and the dishwasher on the same one. Um, it works good. Sometimes, if the the microwave has been running for a long time and the dishwasher comes on, you'll see a flicker in the microwave, but it's never blown the breaker.
Yeah.
But we don't have that microwave anymore. It was a bigger microwave, so it wasn't that bad. I mean, well, this one, which I've never used the air fryer in it either, so it's got an air fryer and all kinds of.
Huh.
I didn't care for any of that stuff. I always got it for because it was on clearance and I needed a microwave. Now the upstairs, that's a whole new. It's still old house stuff. Upstairs, if something gets blown, the whole upstairs is out. But that's the way the houses were back then. It was the little screw in
Fuses.
fuses or the
Oh yeah.
big shotgun shell looking ones.
Yeah. Like an Italian wedding ring. I got a collection of some. Every time we change one of them out, if it's a real old one, I just throw it in the collection pile. You know,
The collection.
it ain't really worth nothing. You know, it's more sentimental, I guess, than anything.
You never know. It might be one day.
It's like I was walking on my
Sorry,
coworker.
Pass them down to your kids.
I
What are
was
these?
just walking through the parking lot, and I looked at I said, my coworker, I said, "Hey, look at here, man. Here's an artifact. Check this out." And somebody had dropped like 3 pennies on the ground. He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "These are artifacts now. They no longer make pennies, so I guess it could be considered an artifact." I was like, "Dang." The whole way I'm walking through the parking lot, we was changing out lights. It's like somebody just emptied out their whole change jar.
Huh. Yeah, it used to be you see a penny, you look, see if it was on heads or tails, and then if it was on heads, you pick it up.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Nowadays, it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to pick that thing up or not. Or you see $1 now, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to pick that up or not.
Yeah,
Because you don't know if they're, especially dollar bills, because it's that thing going around with being laced with stuff. You touch them, and pretty soon
yeah.
you're like, flop down.
That's something else.
Yeah. It's crazy of the evil thinking people do just to do stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
5 boxes of pennies.
5 boxes of pennies.
I'd like to have a couple shoebox pulls of hundreds.
Eh,
That'd be nice.
yeah. I got a penny right here. I don't know what year it is. Six, 64. Yeah, I was talking to my son the other day, and we were talking about how much longer do I think that there's going to be change? And I said, well, I don't think there's going to be any money in the next 10 years, within that 10 years, as I think we're eventually going all the way digital to where there won't be no physical currency. We're pretty much there now.
Yeah.
Everybody uses a card and whatnot. There, Walmart had a thing to where their self checkouts their card readers were broke, so it was only taking cash. That is the first time I seen empty lines on those things. There was nobody there. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Nice.
And then you have to put that money in and wait for the stupid thing to figure out if it's real or not.
Yeah. Once they started that whole paperless billing campaign, it wasn't really so much to save a tree for sure.
Oh yeah.
Hey guys,
Hey, good evening, buddy.
Hey,
Hey, there's trouble.
you're all right.
How you doing, Jim?
Good to see you.
Oh, just found out that this is the coldest winter we've had in 10 years. They announced it on the local TV news.
really?
Yeah, it's the coldest we've had since
Overall, you mean?
overall since 2014-15.
Because
It's about true here because we got the
Yeah,
ice.
I guess.
We had an ice storm in 2014, I believe. It was pretty bad.
Well, we had 39 days in January and February that were below normal.
what you mean below freezing?
No, below normal.
Well, what's normal?
If you go to the Weather Underground, actually, I think every 3 days, the average high goes up 1 degree. I think the average high for my area now is about 44, and it got to 33 or 34 today.
Well, lucky you.
How bad is it where you are?
It's 24 right now. It didn't. We were raging hot at 27 earlier.
If you can't take it, go visit Eric for a while.
Well, here in the near future, I'll be visiting somebody in Tennessee. I
There you go.
can't say who, but that'll be good. That'll be
Is this part of a YouTube thing you're doing, or
no.
no?
Well, that's that if I get my truck working halfway decent.
How many miles is that?
Is what
The
Tennessee?
drive.
Not that much. Probably 6 hours.
How old is your truck? Is it as old as mine? Mine's an 03, but I only have
It's
like 50.
06.
Yeah, I only have 55,000 miles though.
55,000.
Yep, I do a lot of driving around the property in the summer. I got more hours on my Kubota than I have on my truck because of the hour meter.
It's 350,000 miles on my truck.
Well, you beat me by a lot, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't want a new truck with all the computer stuff on them.
Oh yeah. I would rather so much go back. Pre-computer.
Well, a few years ago, the engine light came on, and it has to do with all this emission stuff. And because I don't go 5,000 miles a year, I'm emission exempt. Well, guess what? I get better mileage now.
Yeah, it's probably a computer making it more rich.
Yeah.
The sensors all wore out. Eric knows about that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just replaced the cam positioning sensor and the crank positioning sensor in my pop's minivan, and that was after a fuel pump, a fuel filter, a coil pack, because it would just cut out on me. And I was going down, line item, could be this, could be this, could be this. That's what my code reader was telling me.
Oh yeah.
I'm on my original fuel pump. Actually, the fuel lines started rusting and they had to be replaced. This is like a decade ago, and so I'm only on my second fuel filter, and the brake lines had to be replaced, and the new ones have the rubber coating on them.
What year is your truck?
An 03. I bought it brand new
Oh,
in May of 2003. and it was only $27,500. And you can't get a 3/4 ton. I mean, you can't get a 8-foot extended cab, half ton pickup. I'd have to get a 3/4 ton, and I don't want a 396 cc engine that has a 5.3 liter V8 in there.
Right. So your fuel pump is in your tank then?
Yeah, it's got the original fuel pump. It's probably going to go any day now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate those.
Well, what are you going to do? I had to see my CPA to drop stuff off today. Then I went to the vet and dropped off Holly's records because she has to go to the vet on Thursday for her shots and her exam.
I was looking at this one ambulance, and the guy said the fuel pump was out of it. So I went and did some research on it, and the fuel pump was in the gas tank. And I told him, I said, well, that being in the gas tank, I'm gonna have to knock some bucks off of that.
Yeah, that's a big job.
And he said, well, there's an easier way to do that, to change the fuel pump, so you don't have to take the gas tank off and whatnot. And I said, what's that? He said, I usually just cut a hole in the floor of the ambulance where you can pull it up out of there. And I'm like, no.
Wow.
I don't want any holes in my truck.
I'm like, wow.
No, when they took the fuel pumps off of the frame rails, that was just, some of these engineers on these cars and trucks are just, I mean, you gotta move 10 items just to get to one.
It's the last thing they think of. They don't
think
care about moving something and then like, where are we going to put this? Well, we'll just cram it over here. Well, there's no room for a fuel pump. Let's stick it in the gas tank.
I mean, that's like back in the day, the hot rods. I mean, small block Chevy, Ford, fuel pumps right there. It runs right off the cam. It's right there. It's 2 bolts.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about dropping your fuel tank. And
I got a question for you, Eric. I have a little bit of a mystery.
Uh-oh.
They replaced the water pump on my truck because it was using antifreeze only a little bit. Then they could see that it was actually leaking. It still is using a hair, and they can't figure out where it's going. Do you think I could have a minor leak in the head gasket?
That's what I was going to say.
You'd have to look at your oil.
The oil looks fine.
It's not foamy or nothing?
Oil cap.
Yeah, it's not foamy or anything.
Well, how about your radiator cap?
Yeah.
Or nowadays you have to look at your little reservoir thing over on the side.
Yeah. Are you you talking about the 2003 that you have?
Yeah, the reservoir goes down a little.
So are you seeing the coolant on the ground?
No, there's no visible leak anywhere. They said if it gets bad, there's all kinds of tests they can do on it.
Yeah.
Well, so if you don't see it on the ground, how do you know you got a leak? I don't.
Because the tank is going down just a little.
Smell your start it up and put your hand over the exhaust and smell it and see if you smell that.
Can you get to your spark plugs easily?
Yeah, they already looked in there and said it's not there.
No, I'm saying yourself. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Because you could always do a compression check and.
Yeah.
It doesn't. The truck doesn't use any oil either. They said it's so minute that I'm losing. They could spend a few hours and still not figure it out.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want, I look at it like this. If it was the head gasket and they had to spend $3,000, it's cheaper than buying a new truck.
Yeah, but you only use it on your property. You don't go out on the road with it.
I go out, but look at it like this. I went maybe not 1,000 miles a year the past few years.
Okay.
55,000 miles on a 22-year-old truck because I'm semi-retired. I'm only working at my house. I'm not involved with my sister working.
Well,
And
believe it or not, coolant does evaporate to a point. So
Mm,
that's
especially,
another. But see,
especially with the heating cycles, hot, cold, you know.
I figure you know more about that type of stuff than I do because that's what your livelihood was.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're not losing a lot, and then just check your oil all the time. If it's a head gasket, the antifreeze coolant that's going to show up in that oil first thing.
lift your carpet up on the driver's side too, and make sure there's nothing back there from the heater cord.
Oh, in my '85 Chevy once, I was driving it, and all of a sudden I smelled something, and then there was green antifreeze, coming out of the. I think it was near the glove compartment.
That's the heater core.
Yeah, heater
That
cord.
that was in the '90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny you mentioned that. I had a 1971 442 convertible. I was driving to Seaside Heights, and I started smelling antifreeze. And my girlfriend at the time, she started jumping around in the front seat, and I'm like, "Oh no!" And the damn heater core went, and it was just throwing this hot coolant on her legs. I'm like, "Oh man!" So
How
we
was
pulled
it coming?
over.
Was it coming through the vents or just coming out?
No, it was coming down below. It was just so
Okay.
much of it.
Was she wearing pants or shorts or dresses?
Shorts.
Okay.
So I just bypassed the heater hose, the intake hose that would go into the heater core, and ran it back to the intake manifold, and just because we didn't need a heater in the summer. And then the rest of it kind of drained out on the parkway, but she wasn't too happy.
Is that what ended the relationship?
No,
Okay.
no. We got along good. I still like the car better, though.
All this mechanical stuff breaks down.
Oh yeah.
Sure. But that power steering system that I just put in my truck, I found a leak on the driveway again, and I'm like, this is nuts. And it's the high pressure side that comes out of the pump and goes to the rack and pinion. And they're not going to warranty it because I don't have the box, and I'm not going to send it back in a bag. And so I just bought one. I normally go through a mail order place, so I got one that's 3 times the money, but it's one that's just down the street at I think it's Advanced Auto.
Hey, Monty.
So I got to install that. But it's just, when things get older, it's one thing after the other.
Oh, I still got the original master brake cylinder in the truck.
Yeah.
I wonder how long that's going to last.
Like my brother, he's got a 2003. I forget what it is. 2023. It's a Japanese car, Toyota, I guess.
Oh.
And it measures the PSI in the tires. And he took it to the dealer, and they said, "Oh, it's a bad idiot." Well, we called it idiot lights, but it's a sensor that was bad. So, and this happened 4 times. So they replaced all 4 sensors. Not all at one time, though. He's back and forth. And I'm like, why don't you just disconnect out that crap and just look at your tires before you get in your car instead of relying on a computer that's going to screw up anyway?
Yeah.
My wife has that in her Ford Focus. It happens when it gets really cold in the fall, where it shows this tire is low, and I think it says the amount of pressure in it.
It's like the little sensors. What is that called? The anti-lock thing or whatever.
Yeah, ABS.
Yeah. If those things get dirty, you have to go and clean them off, and they'll run havoc on your.
That's another thing that's the lights on in the van that I just had worked on, and I know what it is because I plugged in the code. Plus, it says ABS on the dash, and it just means you don't have anti-lock brakes. Well, I don't like anti-lock brakes. I want to be able to lock my brakes up if I need to. That's the way I
Yeah.
was taught back when I
Yeah.
was driving. I want to be able to have a full lockup and not this, slowly
Yeah.
stop, because I don't know. I just think it's safer.
Yeah.
I've got an issue with that too on mine, where like when you touch it, it feels like something's out of whack or off center, but then it goes away.
Yeah.
And they told me the place that worked on it, because the place I used to go to, the guy retired, and it's a long story. Well, the place I went to now said it's safe. Don't worry about it.
This is this little program. It's not free, but you can use it as a trial. And this is my garden. here's, here's
Nice.
my
Cool.
here's my garage. Here's the first 3x3 and the other 3x3. And this is the other little box that I got. Made it into a bed. And this thing is that it was supposed to be 6 feet, but it's like about 5 feet. That's got different. It's like a grow bag, but it's got different compartments in it.
Yeah.
Which it worked out pretty good last year because everything grew real good in it. And this is just another bed that I made. And these are my grow bags.
Well, your garden's dead now, right?
Well, yeah, but the grow bags are on a pallet too. So, and usually I just have peppers for those. And this one right here is what I usually plant my sweet potatoes in. And this one is my tomato bed where I use every year I plant tomatoes there. So everybody says you have to rotate in this. I've had tomatoes in there for 8 years or so, 9 years.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find, but this is my bucket thing, my bucket table uh, that I have 5 buckets on each side, which I'm thinking about building another one and put it on the other side over here, and then run a trellis over from one to the other, and
Nice.
have my cucumbers grow over it or something like that.
I need to do
I
something
just
like
do that.
that.
Yeah, I made mistakes. Those cucumbers, they just take over everything. You got to put them on a thing so they grow. Like you said, they want to grow.
Oh yeah. Usually I just make a trellis out of the bamboo, and it usually works pretty good. And this is the other 2 that I put in last year. The other 2 beds. But yeah, that's the layout as of now. Hopefully, I'll put another bed here, and well, this is kind of. I should probably move this closer this way, about right there. And then this is where I have my soil, and this is where I have my compost. And over here is where I have had my bunnies. Here's the preview of it. I guess you can see it better that way, but I don't think I can click on them over here. No. And then you can actually say, and I'm not sure how they do it, but I could each bed I could make each one of the beds to where I can actually put vegetables in it. So, like I say, if I'm going to grow tomatoes, it'll show me where I'm going to place the tomatoes.
How many you can fit per your bed?
And you can have a layout of where you're putting everything.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if you can still get this thing, but it's called Garden Planner 3, and it's kind of interesting, I guess, but I wouldn't go and buy it.
Oh no, yeah. But to play
Because
around with for sure, yeah.
yeah, I don't know what I think you need to print it on paper. I think you need to actually buy it or something like that. Cat, watch out.
Yeah, nothing's for free. I wish I could grow tater tots.
Tater tots. Well, see, that's where they're. Oh, I have to go back over here. I'll probably put another container right over in here somewhere for potatoes, because I think I'm going to do some potatoes this year, other than sweet potatoes.
Yeah, and the sweet potatoes are good for you, but I just prefer the regular white potatoes myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you remember now, a regular Idaho potato or wherever it's from, it's got to be loaded. It's got to have sour cream, chives, onions, bacon bits,
Now just cook a potato in olive oil.
even ketchup if you want to go the full mile.
I can't even have a potato, so hush.
And they've got to be well salted too. You oil them
Oh,
up
yeah.
and then
Oh,
put them
yeah.
in
Salt the outside.
heavy grain salt. Yeah, that's what I mean, outside.
That's uncivilized without.
Mhm.
Sea salt.
And then when they're done baking, then you put them up in the broiler for 1 minute and get everything nice and
Yeah,
getting hungry.
that's exactly what I would do if I was going to print it. But
Yeah.
and I don't know what the reasoning would be, unless you didn't really know how you were going to plant it in a bed. Like take it out there, or maybe you didn't want to label anything and you wanted to have it a piece of paper showing you how it is. But I don't know what the reasoning would be to print it on paper, unless maybe you were hiring it out and having somebody build them and say, this is where I want everything like that. I don't know.
Dude,
I bet Grace is a good cook.
oh yeah, she's a cooking. I did that again. I started a bunch of peppers, and I wrote down what was in these particular cells, but I forgot to put my marker in the corner so I know which was the starter
Which
corner. Yeah. So now I've got like 36 pepper plants in this one cell that I know what they are. I just can't. I have to wait to figure out what they're going to become.
You need to get one of these things. Though I need to see if there's a way I can get this and print some of these off, because it has the numbers right there, and then it has, these are A, B, C, so you can find out what plant you are. You just write it down here and then stick it by it. But
I did. The bad thing is I drew all that on paper and still forgot to put my marker in there.
well, see, that's the container has all the markers for you.
Oh, okay. I got you. I see.
Yeah. I wish it had a picture of it. Well, it does, kind of. I don't know if you can see it now because it's green. Dang it. I don't know. You might can see that one a little bit.
Yeah.
And it has the little soft rubbery bottom parts.
Like
so
silicone.
Yeah, so you push them out of there.
I got some like that. They are handy.
But I'm gonna see if there's online, if there's a thing to where I can print some of these off and just have them. That way, the following year I just throw it away or something.
Yeah.
What type of pepper do you grow the best of? Green? Like the bell pepper? Or?
Oh well, regardless, every year I do some bell peppers and jalapenos, regardless. But I've got some jalapenos going. I got some bell peppers going. I've got some banana peppers going, and I've got a couple different types of hot peppers going. Some Thai peppers and try a couple habaneros. I got some of those seeds, so I figured I might as well use some of them up.
There's banana peppers I grew last summer. Those are really good for frying.
Oh, I love them. I love all types of peppers. I'll
And
eat
my
'em.
wife doesn't like the green, and I prefer the green over the yellow and the orange and the red.
I like all of them. Even the, I
Yeah.
got some purple bell peppers I'm gonna try out.
Oh yeah. I think they're called Black Betties or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Those are real good.
I did them the year before last. They did pretty good. I didn't do them last year. I'll do them again.
Now, I've had problems with the virus with the tomato plants, and I think it's because I've rotated them. I think from tilling the soil, it just keeps spreading it every year.
Yeah.
And how you gonna know? Because where I have a garden is basically 8 inches of black sand mixed with horse manure on top of like probably what's subsoil from the ground being disturbed years ago when the excavating was done to build the house.
Well, if you got something, um, you don't uh, you don't want the leaves and stuff to fall down. You want to try to get the plant out of there, root and all, because it's not in the soil. It comes off the plant and then goes into the soil. So you want to pull that out, because if it's you figure you already have a virus of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
You can either treat it, or what I would suggest is pulling the plant out of there and getting out of there before the leaves and tomatoes fall. If it does, then another thing you can do is get some hay and stuff, or straw, and burn that area.
And the thing is, because I was so busy working with planting and tilling ground to plant little trees, the past 2 years, my wife bought tomato plants from a place that grows them, and I'm thinking the plants had the virus in them when I planted them, possibly.
You can see it. You look at the leaves and see if there's spots on them and stuff. Sometimes you have to look at the underneath of the leaf, because they won't show up right away until it grows a little bit. A lot of times you can see by the stems too.
It didn't happen to all of them, and then I think I'm gonna have to get a cage this year. I tried staking them, and when they were small, and you know what happened? It broke the branches split.
Depends on what type. You said tomatoes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Depends on what type.
I
they
don't
were
do
big boy.
cages. Yeah, I don't do cages. I mean, they'd be pretty good for like
Small bushy type,
yeah, but
but especially if you got like an indeterminate or
yeah,
like a vining or cherry tomato, yeah, you're gonna need
you
almost like
get
the same structure you would for like cucumbers or other vining
you get
produce.
a good tomato plant. That thing will hold. You're gonna have like 20-30 pounds of tomatoes on that thing.
Easy.
Um, Cattle panels. Drive some what you call it, T-post
Yeah,
in, and cattle panels.
make you
That
an
way
arch.
it can grow inside like this, and you can strap them down with a string or something.
I got to roll it at it's almost like chicken wire, but it's in the rectangle shape like cattle. What you're
Yeah,
talking about, I got to roll it at for free, and I'm thinking about making an arch and reinforcing it with some 2x4s I got.
Well,
yeah,
I think with the cucumbers, that's what I'm gonna do. Just take some 2x4s, put posts in the ground, then have one like 8 foot long for the runners of the cucumbers to go on. Because the problem is, okay, every year I stage this stuff a month apart. We end up having all the squash, zucchini, and cucumber all at the same time. Even if I stage planting the stuff, it all comes on at the same time.
well, see, that's the thing. um Zucchini, you can plant that multiple times through the year.
Oh
You
yeah,
can start real early, and then let it die out, what depending if you get the bugs.
How late? I got a question for you, Bushcraft. How late is the latest spring frost you've had? In 2023, I waited to plant stuff. We had a spring frost the last weekend of May, right before the 1st of June. If I had taken some of the plants outside, they would have all been dead.
Oh yeah.
That's an issue here.
I usually in, you might as well say April, you're not getting anything out. It's usually May. And they say after Mother's Day, then you start thinking about putting your plants out. Depending what they are, depending like peppers and tomatoes, I'll wait on those. Now, like if a cabbage or broccoli or something like that, you can get that out earlier.
Yeah.
You can get that out in April.
Because in 23, I had some squash and zucchini coming up, and the frost got them that weekend.
Is zucchini? Yeah. Well, see, zucchini, I just plant the seed. I don't.
These were the seeds that came up.
Yeah.
They were just like a few inches tall, and then next morning I could see by late in the afternoon they were welded completely.
Yeah. Usually zucchini, I don't plant by time or frost or anything. I plant by sticking my finger in the soil and seeing what temperature it is. Well, not my finger, but thermometer.
Yeah.
But usually, if I stick my finger in the soil, I can determine how cold it is.
This weather's been crazy though. I remember in the early 2000s we had days where the first week of April. Well, I remember years where the end of March when Easter was early. Okay, we had days where it got to 80. Then we'd have times in April. Well, I mean, it was too late to plant. I mean, too early to plant a garden. But we had frost in the morning and days when it got to like 83, 85.
Yeah, the zigzaggy thing. There's a special name for it, but I forget what they call it. But that works good too.
Well,
I've done that before. But the cattle panel, I like that so much better. And
allegedly it's called the Florida weave.
Yeah.
But I call it the Georgia weave.
Well, how late is the latest spring frost you guys get down there?
Probably
now.
Yeah, probably now. I mean, we could still get some cold weather, but usually around maybe mid-March, maybe. But yeah, usually towards the end of February or maybe mid-March. And then by the second week in April, pretty much everything's in full bloom.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, and that's when the master starts. I mean, you got everything starts blooming then.
Yeah, we're about to party. Yeah, zucchini and squash is starting to grow.
I love squash and zucchini.
And you don't want to wait till they're the size of a little baseball bat to pick them. Like I've had my wife.
What you using them for?
Well, the thing is, I like the seeds on the yellow crooked neck squash, but I try to salvage this stuff. Like if I wait for my wife says pick them real little, but I said they're not long enough. Then the next day they're almost 2.5, 3 inches in diameter.
Yeah, if you're going to make bread or something like that, let them grow big. You're not going to use the seeds anyway. You're going to scrape the seeds out, but you use everything else.
I love the seeds. My wife cooks them in a frying pan with garlic. And everything here I've been saying it's olive oil and garlic.
What zone are you, Jim?
It's probably zone 6.
Yeah. So yeah, we're pretty much the same then.
Yeah, but then you got to remember the weather dividing line. Like we're in between Philadelphia and when you get up to the where the Appalachian Trail is, the north side of the Appalachian Trail, you're getting into the Poconos. Then that zone changes. but it's elevation too, a lot of it. The thing I've noticed is, okay, areas of properties that fog comes in early is more prone to frost damage.
Well, mine did change.
What
Says
changed?
I'm in 6A now. I was 6B. So I'm a little bit higher area now. Or would that be lower? I don't know.
I was looking at those former almanac websites, the two they have, and I can't figure out if they're correct. And
Yeah,
they're going for it to get dry again in May.
but
I mean-
if you look over the years, you see how it's changed. That and the Tornado Alley, how that's changed.
Well, the local on the Allentown channel, which their weather I think is more accurate than Philadelphia, they've been saying for the past few years, meteorological summer has been getting later every year. But then again, winter set in really early this year. Figure we had this cold weather started, in December, like after the first weekend.
Well, isn't there two years out of, I don't know how long of a cycle there is, but 2 years we're closer to the sun than the other summers. I think it's 2 years.
Well, it changes. Actually, in the summer, during our summer, we're further away from the sun and closer in the winter.
Huh?
I think we're further away from the sun in the summer and closer in the winter.
It
can't-
wouldn't be winter then. It'd be
You
summer.
can't.
No, it's the tilt of the Earth that has to do with the winter, because the Earth's orbit around the sun isn't spherical. In the summer, the miles they're closer in the winter time here. The tilt of the Earth doesn't determine the tilt of the Earth. It's the tilt. Or if you look it up on any website that has accurate information, the Earth's orbit around the sun isn't spherical completely.
Oh no, it's like an oval thing.
It goes in thousands. You figure. I think it takes 25,800 years for the cycle to complete itself, because where we are above the equatorial center of the sun changes a little every year. Like I think half of the time, winter over the 25,800 year cycle, half the time we're closer to the sun in winter, and the other half of the time we're closer to the sun in summer.
Yeah.
Miles.
That's what I was getting at. There's certain summers that we're closer than the previous summers, but I can't remember how many days or how many years it is.
We don't live long enough to even be aware of it.
Well, that's like, allegedly the global warming thing. But if you go back in time to where, when there was no people, because that's the cause of things, evidently, is because of the people. When there was no people, when it was dinosaurs, the carbon levels were way up.
Yeah.
They were way higher than they are now.
We'd have to have the Flintstones.
So what you're allegedly saying is it takes you longer to cook grits up there where you're at than it does me down here during the winter?
My wife's never made grits, unfortunately.
I was going to ask you, have you ever had grits?
No.
I ask people that, up here, and what the hell's a grit?
Maybe when I went to Virginia when I was a kid.
Sounds like my cousin Vinny.
And the funny thing, you speak of the South, like the people in Richmond have more of a Southern accent than what life does.
Well,
I don't appreciate
I don't have
that.
an accent. People say I have an accent, but Grace, do I have an accent?
Grace does.
Oh, I know.
Well, I'll tell you, Grace's accent reminds the people in Long Island that I know.
Jim, it's not Long Island, it's Lung Island.
Okay, you
Like an
got
organ.
Island, you got Staten Island. That accent has a lot of similarities with people from Ireland, and it changed.
Yep.
A Jersey one.
Oh,
Every
Jersey.
once in a while, you hear the Jersey coming out.
You can?
Not too often, but you can catch some words that you'll say.
Hmm.
It's usually when you're talking about food too.
Do you guys think I have an accent?
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. It's pretty
I guess,
thick.
I guess we all do to some point. You know?
But I only hear in one ear.
What's
Well-
that?
What
No,
was it?
seriously, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
No, I was born nerve deaf, or else I was struck by lightning as a little kid and didn't know it.
Oh, wow.
Could be.
Hmm.
Could very well be.
I mean, what life has a little bit of a southern accent?
It's like the guy. I don't know if you ever seen the movie The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. There's
Yes.
one character in the movie. I think he says he got struck by lightning 7 times, and I think in the movie it shows him saying 7 different versions. You know, I was just walking to the mailbox one day and I got struck by lightning.
Yeah, doctors, because my wife works for otolaryngologist, that's ear, nose, and throat. They could do surgery on me and put some kind of chip in there, and I don't want to have that done because the nerve is there, but it's dead.
Well,
It's like a capacitor that won't pass current or a resistor.
what did you go get one of those where you had to sit in a booth and take the test?
Oh, I've had that done so many times.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's the last thing because I've got ringing in my ears constantly. So we need to check it out, and said I was going deaf in my left ear, which I already knew that because when I was younger, there was a muzzle flash, so to speak,
Mm.
about that far from my
Mhm.
ear. So I lost a lot of hearing
Yeah.
from that. And other than that, she said my hearing was pretty good. Luckily, 'cause I'll sometimes turn my head, like if I'm trying to hear something off in the distance, I'll go like that.
Well, most men lose hearing in the mid-range frequencies between maybe 2 and 4,000 hertz the older they get.
Well, she tried to tell me that men always lose their hearing in their left ear from shooting guns. I'm like,
You're right-handed.
I'm right-handed though.
Well, there's more righties than lefties, I believe, allegedly.
Yeah. And I said, what? Because I told her I was right, and she said, "Oh, then how did?" And I didn't want to go into the reasoning why,
Right.
because it's a bad story. But I told her it was just a pew pew thing,
Mm-hmm.
and she says, "Yeah, most men lose their hearing in the left because of firearms and stuff." And I'm like, well, I'm right-handed though. Wouldn't it be on the right side?
It would be. Then you got to remember, when people hear things, everybody sort of the Doppler effect. When you hear a train, a car approaching you, you perceive the sound differently than when it's going away.
Binomial nomenclature.
Right.
That's
Well,
what that term's called,
The other thing with the right ear,
allegedly.
you got to remember, if you're prone and you're at a range and you're with a long arm, you've got your cheek welded on the stock, so your ear's kind of crushed down a little bit. So your left ear would be more in a raised position. So at that point, I could see where that ear is more exposed to noise versus
Yeah, depending how you're
Right.
laying
But you
down
should be
prone.
Well, you can't get on a range without, you know,
Well,
hearing
see,
equipment.
that's more what you're thinking is um, how you're prone, because most
Right.
people think that when you're shooting, your body's straight.
No.
Your
Right.
body's not straight
Nope.
if you're doing it correctly. I'll put it that way.
There's, from what I've seen at the ranges I go to, everybody has their own style. So
Yeah.
if you're sitting on a bench, you know, like the old schoolhouses, they'd have the bench and the table all in. It was just a one piece thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they have down here at a couple of the ranges. And
Most people do better from a
Yeah.
bench.
if you're bench shooting or pew-pewing, sorry, like I'll curl my chin almost all the way back to my shoulder just to cradle the buttstock. And it might look weird, but that's what I'm most comfortable doing. And that's where I get the best results.
Yeah.
Other guys might do something different. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
if
something happens in a car, that can hurt your hearing too.
Yeah.
and I don't go to a range anymore since I got my scope sighted. You figure when I shoot deer for crop damage, it's all done freestanding. I put one of these in my ear, one of these hearing protectors.
Right.
I put the headphones on,
I got some somewhere.
and I always keep one of these in my pocket in case I have to grab one of my firearms.
Yeah, and if you've ever discharged one inside buildings,
Oh yeah.
oh man,
Or in someone's basement, that doesn't work
oh
either.
that'd be horrible.
That would be deafening. Actually, you know how many times I've said to my wife, it'd be easier to get a deer from the second floor window
Right.
if I put the screen out.
Yeah, I can see you just taking pot shots out your window, Jim. That's
Your wife jumping up.
The gunpowder smell would be.
popo there so quick. Shoot from the window.
And the sad thing is, I mean, what are you going to do? When I take a shot at a deer for about a second, I can't see anything because there's just so much smoke from the, released from the shell until it clears, unless it's windy.
Well, that's like back in the day when the muskets and stuff, the normal way you shot was when you pulled the trigger, you squinted your eyes.
Yeah.
One was because of the stuff flying out.
The powder.
Yeah.
Powder flash.
And the second was the flash, because
Yeah.
your eyes had to adjust to. Now you didn't get to shoot right away because you had to reload and all that, but still,
Yeah.
you would see that light right there, and it's hard to see.
And it's
That's
easy
how
to get.
it came up because there was a pan. That's how they come up with the name, the old adage, oh, you're just a flash in the pan. Well, I got that from a musket and powder.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell more easily with a shotgun than you can with a rifle. That's like a semi. When the gun needs clean, like if I eject the shell and it gets hard, and you pull the mechanism back in the shotgun, you can feel it stiffer when the barrel's getting dirty. I'd say after like 35, 40 shotgun shells, I got to clean the gun.
Depending on your,
I'm a real stickler with this. You should clean it after you use it every single time, and you'll have it for your whole life. You can buy the stuff in a spray. You know what you do, Jim? Instead of buying the real expensive stuff that's supposedly formulated for pew-pews, go down to the store where you buy auto parts and buy non-chlorinated brake cleaner. And I started doing that. I saved tons of money. You can just spray your action down. You don't have to take it apart. Just spray it down. And it just evaporates, dries quick. And
I get the stuff
on the barrel.
I get the stuff at Walmart. Let me go find it real quick.
Yeah, it's probably Hoppies or something.
Yeah, you're right. It's Hoppies.
Yeah.
That stuff works. And the thing I found is, if you run out of those little pads to put on the thing, just cut up a pair of old underwear that are rotten, that are tearing, and put that over the cleaner, the wire part.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the gun minds me using parts of old underwear.
I don't know. You're already saying they're rotten, so I don't know.
I didn't want to respond to that rotten underwear thing.
You know, ones that dry rot. You figure that
I knew it. What time is it? Jim starts the stuff. There you go.
that Turkish ammo though is a little those Turkish shotgun shells are dirty. I will say that.
Yeah,
Sure.
there are some that, and like Eric says, you got to clean them.
Yeah.
Like every time when you
You can
use
buy
some
some
of that
clean
ammo.
burning shells.
The Sterling and the Jet is what I've been using the past few years.
They're dirty.
It's no big deal having to clean the gun out though.
Yeah, but you said you didn't.
No, I mean I clean it after. I'd say once it feels a little stiff because you figure those shells expand after you shoot one. Once you
Right.
can feel it's getting a little stiffer to eject the shell, time to clean the barrel.
Well, it's not just the barrel; it's the bolt that's going back into the receiver. That's what you're feeling. The recoil's pushing the bolt back.
No, it's probably from the rotten underwear.
Rotten underwear.
Plus, if a person's safety sticks on a gun, just put gun lube on there. That'll fix the problem.
Right.
You figure that gunpowder gets into everything when it ignites.
Yeah, that's a very, very violent thing that happens inside a chamber like that. That's,
Because I'm using a Remington 870 with a modified choke.
Mm-hmm.
Jim has some crusty guns.
Now I get good and clean.
Just go buy that brake cleaner, Jim.
When you go out and shoot and it smells like a fart, then time to clean the gun.
I got brake fluid. I haven't used it. It's from one of my wife's old cars.
No, not brake fluid, brake cleaner.
Oh, brake cleaner.
Parts cleaner. God, don't put brake fluid on your. Oh, no.
That would probably catch on fire.
That'll take the bluing off the barrel and it'll ruin your stuff.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Brake cleaner. What brand? I'll write it down.
Just
non-chlorinated
parts cleaner, brake cleaner. It's a big aerosol can.
I've never used brake fluid. I'll tell you. You know what brake fluid? You know what you can use brake fluid on? That's really good. Say you have loudspeakers that have butyl rubber surrounds or polyvinyl chloride, not foam rubber. You can use brake fluid to put moisture back in woofer surrounds. Because all plastics, you figure rubber is butyl rubber is a plastic. It's going to dry out.
Poop you.
Post-it note.
Yeah, I just pour that Hobbs gun cleaner down the barrel.
Yeah, never use WD-40 either.
No. Never.
Isn't WD-40 made out of fish oil?
There's a lot of synthetic oils mixed in that, and WD-40, it took them 40 tries to get their formula right, and WD stands for water displacement on the formula.
You know what else? Sorry. You know what else I found WD-40 is good for? Cleaning the bathroom counter next to the sink.
Well, it's a silicone base. You could clean your bumper with it too, from all the love bugs that get your truck all dirty in the summer. That's good stuff. Actually, the best thing to clean the grill of your car or truck is a dryer sheet. You take a dryer sheet, a new one, and you get it wet under the hose. And whatever on that dryer sheet mixes with the water, and you go up and down your bumper. And it doesn't hurt your car paint, but those love bugs down here, they dry hard. They're nasty.
I don't see ingredients on this thing.
Oh, there's a WD-40. You got what do you got there, Bush?
Yeah, W40.
God, I sprayed like the inside of the doorknob, so that gets in the mechanism, hinges of doors.
I would use liquid wrench, deep creep, something like that over WD-40. I mean,
W40 is
WD-40.
expensive now.
Yeah.
I think a can of that's like $5.79. Well, the spray. I think something else WD-40 works on. Okay, one night, okay, I noticed to lift the toilet seat up, it was sticking, and I thought this is gonna break. So I took the WD-40 that was in the bathroom and sprayed it. The back part of it that moves, and that solved the problem right away.
Oh, the hinge part.
Yeah, the hinge, yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the seat was stuck to the
No,
toilet.
the seat stands for my wife, and it's up for me when I have to, take a pee. And I don't want.
Wait a minute. It's up for you when you sit?
Well, no, I mean, I lift the thing up, and it's down for her.
Okay, that's better.
I mean, I don't
Oh,
sit.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
people-
uncomfortable.
Yeah, people spray wasp with that stuff. Well, I just put my toilet seat on the one toilet a few years ago, and I thought, this is acting up already. Just spray the hinge with the WD-40.
Oh boy.
Interesting.
Well, no, we don't have a crusty potty. My wife is very clean. But the thing is, how you going to clean the hinges?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it would work.
She vacuums the rugs, and I get the cobwebs.
Yeah. Hit the toilets, Jim.
It is what it is.
What do you do with the cobs when you catch them?
I mean, we got a Rika vacuum cleaner that's 36 years old. The switch stopped working over 10 years ago. We plugged the thing in, put the 4 attachments on it, then it'll reach most of the ceilings.
Huh.
Nice.
I'll bet it's a Sears vacuum too.
No, it's a Eureka.
Eureka.
It's a Eureka.
I had a
Let me find some.
appliance guy come knocking door to door and just doing it, introducing himself. He new to the area and stuff, and he asked if there was anything that he would give free estimate and everything. And I told him that dishwasher was losing pressure and stuff. I already knew what it was and everything. And he said, sure, I'll take a look at it. And he says, yeah, you need a new one. And I said, oh, that's okay. I ended up tearing it apart, and there's little blades in there that chop up your food before it goes. And sometimes there's things that don't get chopped up that will clog that up to where it doesn't get the water to spray up higher and stuff. So it's a pain working inside that little thing, but once you get in there and get it all cleaned out, oh man, that thing it's like a new dishwasher. And
Yeah.
so many people buy a new dishwasher because of that. And it is a pain to get in there to work on it, because it's just not lifting the sprayer out of there. You actually have to get into past because there's little blades that turn that chop up the food that you don't rinse off, that get stuck in there.
Yeah. See, right. I have a big problem with that. I don't know.
Oh, Jim, I thought I was going to have to
no,
turn your thing off there for a second.
That's his vacuum.
Yeah, I know. I only seen the one end of it.
I was going to say that's one hell of a musket.
That is a vacuum cleaner.
Yes. Allegedly.
That's
Allegedly.
the
It
ceiling.
probably shoots potatoes and tomatoes.
Oh, man.
You thought it was a gun?
No.
Well, just the end of it, because you only showed the end of it, and then I seen the attachment to it, and I saw, okay.
You're coming in from the right of the screen in front of the the fireplace, and it's just like, you know.
I almost did this to Jim.
This thing is almost 40 years old.
Oh yeah, that is an
Man,
old
it's-
one. Is it
Ghostbuster
smoking?
unit.
It's an old tank vacuum.
Yep.
Is that thing smoking?
That's a drag behind.
No, that's me.
Oh, okay.
We got this before we were married, I think.
Unplug that thing, man.
You can't get bags for it hardly anywhere.
Oh no.
That's like my vacuum cleaner. It's I'll take that thing completely apart down to the motor and clean it.
Yep.
Put it back together, and new vacuum cleaner. Sometimes if the motor burns out, then you're kind of screwed. But hey, hi country. Yeah, hopefully that I get the package tomorrow, since it's supposed to be here.
What kind of package you getting?
I can't say. I got to do a video first.
Stay tuned.
It's coming from Sterling.
Well, we got a lot of stuff here.
It'll be coming from China more than likely.
Hey, Gary. Hey, what's going on with the tariffs? Like, if you buy something from Temu or AliExpress, is the tariff added into the transaction now?
No.
I don't think anything went. I saw the T-Man today, and the press corps, someone asked them a question about that, and I guess the European Union is agreeing to allegedly do the car tariffs down to 2.5 like we charge, and he said that's a start. So, you know, we'll see what happens, but it's just like it's a start. You know?
We figure this country had tariffs on all kinds of stuff coming in here. And then in 1913, after they, you know, because of Woodrow Wilson and the Congress, you know, the Federal Reserve was created. Then they got rid of all these tariffs, and who paid for the government? Not the tariffs, we did. Now, what do you think they're going to find gold if they audit Fort Knox? You figure the last real audit was when Eisenhower was president. What they did in 1974, they say it was an audit. A few senators walked in there and didn't stay long and left.
Yeah.
If they find there isn't any gold, or not as much as they claim, in Fort Knox, we might see the dollar become really worth a lot less than it is now.
I don't know. I don't get it all hung up in the hype because I've been hearing it for so long now, and
Yeah.
you know, it's just,
Well, today was the worst day of the year the stock market had.
well, again, you got a new guy in charge, and you know, new rules and new things are happening, and you know, it's going to take a while to get things back on track. I mean, look what he inherited.
He inherited one big economic mess that
And
we're
the
seeing.
social one too.
Yeah. Look, with stuff going on with Russia and China, and
Yeah.
There's two ways of looking at a stock market crash. You figure, because I'm into this stuff. I was kind of born into it because that's all I ever heard, really, you know, in my family. Well, it's like this, you know, 97% of people that invest in the stock market lose money. When something goes down, they sell it out of panic, out of fear. If the stock market goes down even more, is the best time to buy the stocks. Most people don't. It's like playing poker. I look at it like this. It takes me 8 years to make money after I plant a little tree. If stocks go down, it's a good thing. Then you can accumulate more of them. Because no matter how bad it gets, the stock market's going to go up eventually.
Well, sure.
But if you retire, if you're receiving your pension now, your principal is going to go down. It's a bad thing.
Well, what's happened to everyone's 401k the past 4 years? That's a travesty.
It all depends on which company has it and what it's invested in.
Most people across the board have lost, I'm going to say 30% average. I know I did.
Then one thing that really pisses me off is I've seen people in here in chat and other channels where, let's say their husband died. Well, the company changed the rules because of the union, where if somebody works all their life and has a good chunk of a pension plan, if they die, they find out, well, it goes back to the pension fund where the wife doesn't get it, where stuff has been changed and people weren't even aware of it until a loved one passes away. That isn't fair at all.
Well, I don't think people do their research enough to begin with. Where's this going to go? If I pass, where's that going to go? You know what I mean? You should. Most people don't even have wills. I mean,
well, one thing you can do is have everything set up so they're beneficiaries.
yeah, it's called a living trust. That's what we got going on here.
Just like if you have a pension plan and God forbid, like you would just drop dead, you have to have a beneficiary, because then a beneficiary can get that settled before the will is even, completely settled.
Yeah, but I'm not saying all pensions, but most pensions, unless you're a spouse, are not going to, it's not something that's going to keep coming out to the family and get spread around and,
Because I know some people's pension plans, they can't have a beneficiary. Because I know I've seen enough cases where it's happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, I know this from experience. Most people, let's say they have a lot of finances, they'll hire someone like Schwab or Fisher Investments. You know what they're doing? They're just investing that in the Schwab top 40 stocks. And most of these places, they're taking 1.5% commission fee. And if someone does enough research, he can do better than an accredited investor, allegedly. Because I saw my CPA today, and we were talking about all this stuff. That's pretty funny, Mr. Cheddar. Okay, AliExpress, I bought some stuff from them, and I got that in a week. But it says that it came from China, and I have my doubts. I think there was a warehouse somewhere in the U.S., and that's where it came from.
Oh, they did. If you pay attention on Temu, you can buy from the warehouse, which is here, or if you buy from the Temu that's in China or whatever. Depending which one, sometimes they'll have a thing to where you don't have to pay shipping if it's from a warehouse here, and then sometimes it's the opposite way. You can buy it from Temu itself, and you don't have to buy shipping or pay for shipping.
Because I know on AliExpress, I bought, just so I didn't have to pay any shipping, I got 64 Sonicare toothbrush heads. And these were ones I was looking for because of the model numbers. Some of the newer ones, I don't like. The bristles are too soft. It was free shipping to get 64 of them. And it sounds like it's excessive. Hey, but you figure you buy 64 of them, you got enough of them to last a few years between two people.
Yeah.
And I got a new Sonicare toothbrush handle for $25 only from AliExpress. Now, I wouldn't recommend anybody buys most of the work shoes they have on AliExpress. I've seen people put reviews on there where they bought a pair of work shoes in a few weeks. The sole just came off the shoe, where they thought the shoe was stitched to the sole and was just glued.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to mention something about um, the babies from the hostages.
Yeah.
They were deleted, but they weren't deleted by pew pews or anything. They were deleted with bare hands. I'll
Right.
just leave it at that.
And the people sticking up for those people are the same people that are against Doge.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Most
find
of
it
the
interesting that all of a sudden people are changing their tones about it. I don't know if Trump suggested this or somebody said something about it, but those who don't support Doge won't be getting a stimulus or whatever you want to call it if they do go that route. And boy, all of a sudden, a lot of people changed their tone about that.
Right.
Oh, we get paid? Oh, I like it. I like it. It's good.
And he figured the money, if we get back $5,000 per household, it's not money that was just printed. It's money taken back and
Yeah.
used for other purposes. Then I forget, I saw a YouTube channel today where people are concerned about, oh, they're not going to get as much in food stamps or Medicaid.
Yeah.
And if these people weren't paying taxes, if people start getting money back, it's going to be the race card again.
Yeah. This video lady comes on and says her state is not allowing to buy candy or pop and some other things that was in there, but the candy and pop is the one she was complaining about. She said, well, there will be no kids that are allowed to have birthday parties anymore because a cake is candy. And she was going on and on about they can't have lunches because the snacks in the lunch thing, and she was so upset because of the candy thing. They won't have birthday parties or graduations anymore. Or
That's baloney.
and
My kids'
I'm
teeth.
like, bake a cake. You know, people used to do that thing.
I think you have one. Okay, let's go out.
Yeah, they keep saying, "Oh, it's going to ruin the economy," and I'm like, "Wait a minute! Didn't well, some people get money from the 2020 thing. There were similar, and so they said there was 3 of them. I didn't know there was 3 of them. I didn't get 3.
No.
I think those were the ones that people that had kids or something. But how is that going to hurt the economy? I mean, people will be out spending that money. Well, there'll be a lot of people out spending the money. There'll be people putting that money back, saving it. And if they put it in the bank, get very little interest off of it, depending how they do it. Because they might put it in a higher interest thingy, CD or something like that. Who knows?
I find it fascinating that, What's he been there? 5 weeks, if that?
Oh, yeah,
And
he's been there a
and
month now.
you
That's
know,
it.
I mean, really, you just want him to click his finger and everything goes back to, 2016, 2017, 2018. I
Yeah.
mean, reality check takes time.
Well, he's already got them talking peace over with Russia and stuff.
Yeah. He,
I
he,
I know
he
what you're
called
gonna
somebody,
say.
you know what he said about him the other day?
Yeah,
He was a mediocre, a
yeah.
mediocre comedian with leather chaps or something. Like, my God,
Wow, it's still that low? Dang.
that is low.
I thought it would be higher than that. Oof.
You probably could shop a little higher than that. Motor mounts are cracked, Ziggy? Well, they're easy to replace. Not $1,300. Hmm.
$1,300? Oof. It is California though.
Yeah, but a lot of the shops, no matter what state you're in, they look you over. They see someone coming and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to rake them over the coals."
I'm back. The dog had to take me out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how that would cost so much. Unless they're going to take the motor completely out and then put it on the motor and then put it in. I don't know. That seems like a lot for
Yeah,
motor
should
mount.
be able to just put a floor jack under there.
Yeah,
Tip one side up and then
some
the other
2x4s and
side. But that's old. We're old school, Bush. That's the way that goes.
yeah, I don't understand because 2004, is it a front wheel drive thingy
Brake shoes
where
and
you
pads.
got the motor sideways?
Front wheel drive.
Yeah, because those motor mounts are really easy.
Yeah, they're right
Well,
there. You can touch them.
yeah, just depending what kind of car it is too.
Did she say what kind of car it was?
I don't think so. I think she just said it to 2004. Ooh, that's good news right there.
Good.
I never had goat milk.
A lot of people don't like it. I'm not a drinker of it, but I'd like it for fudge and cheese.
It all
Yeah.
depends. My sister, she goes to this place in Pennsylvania near Lancaster called Shady Maples. One year we went there for Christmas over a decade ago.
Oh,
She had some kind of goat cheese, and I just didn't like it.
oh, I'd shop around because Toyota's real easy for the motor mounts for that front wheel drive. Because I had to change one on a 98, and they're pretty much the same until 12, 2012. I think they went weird. Woof.
Is high country in Australia?
Well, I guess we can't
There's a lot of
legally
stuff.
sell raw milk in Australia.
There's a lot of stuff they can't have in that country.
Well, that's sell. You can have your own milk. Well, right
You
now,
can't, you
but
can't buy it.
you can't no, you can't sell it.
So that means you can't buy it either.
Yeah.
Well,
Could you barter it?
yeah. See, that's what
Okay, Ziggy, I just looked it up. The average cost to replace motor mounts on a 2004 Corolla can range from $101.99 to $152.99. Whoever you're
Per
talking with,
mount?
run.
Is that per mount or?
It says mounts, plural.
Oh, mounts. Okay.
Is that the
I was gonna
labor?
say, maybe they're charging per mount.
And you can get a Duralast motor mount, steel motor mount with natural SBR bushing for $101 at AutoZone.
Now, what's the labor, you think?
I wouldn't deal with that. Well, what this guy's saying, 101 to 152, depending upon parts and labor costs. Okay, maybe this is just the cost of the mount, but that certainly doesn't equal $1,300.
Yeah, because it's not like, because I think the mechanic up here is only like 40-50 bucks an hour. That's probably not everywhere though.
Oh, that's it. They're like 120 here.
I was going to just say that.
Jeez.
God, even the Kubota deal was about $100 an hour now for labor.
Yeah, so figure about 100 and
Charges $80 an hour for labor. How is he going to? That doesn't make sense because motor mounts are really easy. Unless there's something else that's there.
Get a breakdown from them, Ziggy.
Yeah.
Okay, get it in writing. Tell them the motor mount shouldn't be any more than $50.
If they have to use some liquid wrench and a torch to get it loose, it still shouldn't be.
Well, they should have, if they're, they don't know.
Well, it's so wrong, and I don't want to sound like I'm sexist because I'm not, but sometimes they see women coming for repairs and they rake them over the coals. And
Toyota dealer is $130 an hour.
It's not fair.
You see, it should, even at that, it still should. I mean, that's almost 10 hours to do a.
That's the worst place to take cars to a dealer. They're the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, because their parts are even more too.
Go to a local guy.
I think we're going to see Mercedes-Benz and BMWs making their cars in this country.
Well, there's already companies leaving Mexico and coming back here.
Because I didn't know that there's Harley Davidsons being made in Europe, European factory.
Yeah. And did you hear about Kentucky Fried Chicken?
No, what's going on with that?
It is now Texas. In Texas, they moved out of Kentucky and went to Texas.
How bad are taxes in Kentucky? I wonder.
That's the reason why they got a really big break for tax in Texas.
Are they going to change the name of it to Texas Fried Chicken?
I don't know. That's what I said. I said it's not Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore.
It's Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore. Now it's just KFC.
Yeah.
It's so I wonder what the change of that was for.
TFC.
KFC.
No, now TFC.
I don't like the fact that all these companies, the people can make money with computer chips, they're all in California. If something would happen with a major earthquake there, that would be it for Silicon Valley. If there's some of them, Palantir pulled out and Elon Musk pulled out. I hope more of these companies in California go to a state like Texas or Florida.
Well, that's why NVIDIA went to Phoenix. Well, outside of Phoenix.
No, that's Taiwan Semiconductor that makes the chips actually for NVIDIA.
Yeah, but they're building. It's not built yet, but they're building a big
Yep.
place,
Hmm.
which is good. I mean, that's a good thing.
Well, I told people to buy that stock a year ago. It was 119 a share, and it's been up to over 200. It's probably down a little today. Taiwan Semiconductor.
Yeah, once you seen what's her name buying that stuff up.
The nervous one.
Yeah,
I tell you, there's not many Tammy Horter I was reading her, there's not many fifth generation farmers left in the country, unfortunately.
well, the insurance and stuff for, if you put a crop in and it fails, that stuff has went through the roof. So it used to be a safeguard, if you had a bad year with a crop. Now it's you're praying that the crop turns out, because if it doesn't, then a lot of farmers are done.
And I don't know, they offer it for Christmas trees. It's too expensive. I don't know of any Christmas tree growers that ever got the crop insurance. And if there are unfortunately a lot of grain farmers that are doing not just hundreds, like thousands of acres, they have to take out a low interest loan just to afford the seed and fertilizer. And that's why they get the crop insurance.
Yeah.
If the crop fails, that'll cover them.
Oh, this just in.
What happened?
United States is threatening to shut down Starlink in Ukraine.
Okay, I saw on ABC News that they claim that Zelensky is ready to make a deal with Trump over the mining there. I'm thinking I don't believe much of what they say at all.
Oh yeah. Again, you almost have to see that third party news company, or the news is like,
Oh, ABC News said Trump's disapproval rating is 53%. Then if you put Fox on, they say it's 53% approval.
it's
I've been saying I like to see, because I know people that I have nieces and nephews that have told me a decade ago everything on Fox News is done in the studio and it's all make believe.
I think it's more in the 60s, but you'll never hear that.
When I see people's posts on Facebook, they're claiming that they're taking away money from stuff that we need. They don't know what they're talking about.
Sure they do.
That's why all the airplanes are crashing now, because he fired all the aircraft, or
they're paid agitators.
The what you call it guys, control people, air traffic control.
Yep.
Mm.
Well, Pam Bondi, I saw a little of what she said earlier today, that she's going through the JFK files, RFK, Martin Luther King, and a certain person's list that I don't want to mention the last name of.
Oh,
that was a coward. He has the same last name as one of the characters that was a sweat hog in Welcome Back, Kotter. She plans to release that list.
I see.
Will ABC, NBC, CBS even cover it? And you figure, I think everybody knows the CNN is banned from the Pentagon press briefings.
You mean the Clinton News Network is banned from there? Wow.
They're probably going to fight that in court, is my guess. Grace, why do the mechanics get excited when they see your sister coming?
Show me the money.
I got a sister that lives in the New Brunswick area. She's conservative, and everything that their electric bills are higher than ours. Their insurance is higher. Any kind of repair is higher. I told her move.
That's easier said than done. Hey, just move. You
Just
know?
move.
You talking about New Brunswick, New Jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was maybe half hour from me.
Good at growing stuff, though. They got
Oh,
good,
yeah.
good
New
farm.
Jersey.
People think Jersey's like the armpit of New York. That's called the Garden State for a reason. They got
Yeah.
they've got central and western Jersey, the blueberries and the raspberries and the tomatoes and the corn. It's incredible what they grow out there.
Well, even though you used to live there, I look at it as three different areas. North Jersey is different than South Jersey. Then you got along the shores, completely different.
Well, sure.
Like you get down, because down around Hamilton, that's all sand. That's where the blueberries are. Then you get a little, because that's a little too sandy for a lot of stuff, except it's acidic soil. Then you get a little further north, and they grow a lot of the good vegetables, corn, tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yep, she had to get money for her wedding.
Oh, and Stacey Abrams was in charge of
Yeah.
some fun.
Well, she's not. She's linked to the group that got a large sum.
She is a millionaire now, allegedly,
They all are.
and they didn't earn it the old-fashioned way.
Well, that is the old fashioned.
Well, for Washington D.C., they did. It's the old-fashioned way. It's the corrupt way.
Yeah.
But not for the honest, intelligent people.
No.
The key word, you guys know, it's honesty.
Yeah, you put in a hard day's work, you should earn a good wage.
You figure nobody, the mainstream media didn't flip out. B. Charming's comment at 10:36 made me think of this. Figure Joe Biden put 15,000 people lost their job, welders, when he stopped the Keystone pipeline. And that was hailed as a good thing by the mainstream media. No Democrats spoke out against 15,000 welders losing their job. And those guys are really high skill to make a pipeline.
Yeah, Jerry, you're right. I need to see the perp walk. I gotta see it.
Well, you kind of are, but not quite. You're seeing a lot of them walk out the door.
Uh-huh.
It won't surprise me if we see people, we find out on the news that people's passports get revoked.
What's up, Jack?
Hey, how's Jack doing from last week? His leg.
He's better. He's been taking some carprofen, and he got his hair cut a couple days ago.
What does the carprofen do for?
It's a painkiller. So, but I guess he's 10, so he's got some arthritis, and you can hear him drinking now.
Right, he's gonna have to go to the bathroom.
I'll be right back.
He's no near than Holly is.
Woo! That
I wonder who Jack
shotgun again.
What Bushcraft?
That was a crusty shotgun.
Huh. That's nice and clean now. This past week, I'm not seeing the deer, and it's awfully early. Most years, when it starts to green up sometime in March, the deer just all of a sudden relocate, and nothing is green here at all. I mean, with between the drought we had last summer and how cold it's been, all the grass, the weeds, everything is just as brown as it could be. The only good thing is it'll be easier to get through the ground with a disc or a rotary tiller.
Mm-hmm.
You figure some people don't have a tiller. One way you can get a garden ready is just put plastic down to kill the vegetation. Then it'll be easy to dig up by hand.
Well, it depends what you're doing with it too, because you, I mean, it's better to get the stuff that lets the water through too, because you can actually kill the microbes and stuff if it's too much on with the plastic and stuff. And depending what plastic you put on there, sun beating down on a chemically type stuff, you have to watch that too.
Yeah, spring can't come fast enough for me, I'll tell you that.
Oh, I know. I'll be happy to get over the freezing mark. And it snowed last night.
I went to Little yesterday.
I think around midnight they made it the warning level went from 2 to 1. So
North of us and east had a little snow. My wife drove 8 miles to go to the closest shop right, and she said the ground was completely covered. We had maybe just a dusting here.
yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was about 2 to 3 inches, enough for the plow come through.
Now, Mr. Chatter, don't feel bad. $300 to clean out a septic system, that's not bad at all. That's what I paid $350 about 4 years ago. And the price might actually go to double because the local sewage treatment plant wants to stop taking waste. And then the only other place guys in this area can take it is up in the Poconos. And they said if that happens, the price could go up to $750.
That's why you treat your septic, not with the chemicals that you buy at the store. You get a pound of hamburger and a keg of yeast, and you flush it down the toilet. And that yeast and everything, it'll eat all that stuff up in your septic. Do it about twice a year, depending how many people are using it.
Well, the thing you got to remember, all septic systems are different. You have a tank for the solid waste. And the way it is around here, because they've outlawed basically in-ground systems in Pennsylvania. Okay, there's a pump that takes the liquids and pumps it. But the only way to get rid of the solid waste is to have a truck come and pump it out.
Yeah, that's why you have that's that treating thing, because I lived in a place that we didn't have septic when you first moved into it. So first septic that was in there was 2 55-gallon drums. And we used that for about 6-7 years. You have to learn how to, get along with it, meaning because soap and things that you put down the drain, toilet paper is another thing. You get used to ways to so you don't have to have it pumped and all that stuff, because toilet paper, you'd be surprised how much that takes to dissolve.
Because what they do with the waste is they take it to the sewage treatment plant and they boil that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people in the city drink that.
Hmm.
It's true. Most of the bigger cities, people drink recycled water up to 27 times a year. So that water has been drank and redeposited 27 times in a year.
That's why so many people get filters,
I don't drink it.
or
I
they
get
get.
bottled water.
Now, every time my wife goes to the grocery store, because I go to a grocery store occasionally, you see people just loading up on bottled water.
Yeah. And you got to pay attention to the water too, because
Yeah.
a lot of water companies that sell this water get it out of the city. They just run it through a filter and like, we have the cleanest water. It's still recycled water.
Just like the soda and beer industry.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about that before, like beer in certain areas tastes different. The same brand as the water.
Yeah.
Maybe recycled Pete is not stand for plastic. I don't even want to know, Mr. Cheddar. And I know in certain areas around here, if a person has a well and it dries up and there's public water there, it's illegal for them to drill a new well. They got to hook into the public water system.
Oh man.
I forgot to tell you some really good news. The Democrats in Pennsylvania actually did something good.
They're retiring?
No,
Oh.
the way it was before, if you wanted to get rid of an old TV, okay, Best Buy started taking them where if you had to pay them $25 and you would get a $25 gift card you could use for something at Best Buy. Well, they passed a law. Now there are recycling centers. All the Goodwills, I think, in Pennsylvania now, they made a deal, are taking old TVs, the old tube TVs. They're taking old microwaves. It's on their website, free of charge. We have like 2 or 3 old microwaves to get rid of, another computer to monitor, a 13-inch TV. That was our son's in his bedroom.
Yeah.
Now we're not going to have to spend all this money to get rid of this stuff.
Well, that's good.
That's the
I
only.
can understand refrigerators or an air conditioner because of the Freon, but
They won't take appliances like that. They won't take washers, dryers, or refrigerators, or anything that has mercury in them. Ziggy, if your handyman's 72 years old, he's probably pretty handy. And that's another thing, because there's young people getting out of like auto mechanic school, and they don't know, even though they have a degree. Because I was talking to a guy that works on my truck, well, the guy that retired. He says these guys are certified, and they don't even know how to do all the stuff they were taught to do.
I seen a video where an older car came in, and the mechanics were all around it trying to figure out the point system.
Yeah.
And they were like, what do we do with this? And they were actually looking at YouTube videos, and one guy said, well, you're supposed to do this.
Right. What's the point? Right. What's the dwell meter?
The one guy, I actually haven't seen him put out a video for a while. What was his name? Thunder, I think. Yeah. He makes his own timing light. It has the 2 settings on it. Let me see if I can find it. Dang it, I can't remember what his channel's name is now. I thought it was
Yeah, there you
There
go.
it is.
Scotty Kilmer. He's good. I watch him all the time.
Thunderhead 289. Yeah, he hasn't put anything out for 2 months. Wow. Yeah, somebody gave him a truck. Well, actually, it's an older style SUV. So it was the Chevy Suburban, I think they are, the big old boats.
Yeah.
And it had a snowplow on front of it, but it didn't run worth crap. And he finally got it running and everything. Yeah, if you want a good channel on older cars and whatnot, he shows you how to set the timing and idle on the carburetor, and because he actually invented little carburetor cheats and stuff like, or do they call it a hack? I don't know, something like that. Little kits that you could that he made, that you can actually hook a Bluetooth up to it and see all how much, if it's running rich or how many RPMs and all kinds of stuff. Very, very cool.
All the liberals in Congress are running rich.
Yeah.
And not just their cars.
Maxine Waters has fouled plugs.
She's got a foul mouth too.
I know.
And her daughter's really rich too.
Yep.
From what I read. Bushcraft, I kind of missed because I was putting the cleaner back. What did you think I was bringing out?
Well, all I seen was a barrel coming out of there.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, oh, bye, Jim. I'll wait until you put that up.
Yeah, it's fun trying to clean the ceilings in the house with that thing in some areas. When I got to get on a step ladder. And my wife has to hand it to me. Because I cannot stand cobwebs at all.
Yeah, I watched a video, TikTok video, and he says, because his wife's always, and it was on his wife's channel, but he made the video, I guess, to pay her back, and she didn't catch on at all until a good bit toward the end of the video. And he said, I'm going over a friend's house, and he said what the friend's name was, and as he's getting ready to leave, he says, I'll see you in the morning. What? Oh, and she started freaking out and say, no way. And he says, this is normal. It's normal. And he says, and he keeps talking, and she, you can see her face is starting to turn red and everything. He goes out the door, and she chases him out the door, and get your butt back here. You're not leaving. And then she notices the phone, and she's, oh. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I don't miss is choke sticking on carburetors and automobiles.
My truck, I used to have uh, the cable.
Yeah, manual choke. Yeah.
Yep. But I usually never had to use it because it would start right up anyway. The only thing I had issues with, it was a Ford, was the corrosion on the battery, which that's normal for Fords. Older ones, I don't know nowadays how they are, but it was always a thing.
We used to clean the battery posts with Coca-Cola,
Or put grease on them.
a wire brush, and then put dielectric grease on them. And then
Yeah, I
you
use grease.
the felt ring down first, then the grease.
I use
And,
grease for my grease gun. And actually, I found certain batteries are better. I swear by Interstate batteries. When Pep
There are
Boys,
only 3 battery companies that make all of the brands, Jim. One of them is Johnson Controls, which I believe is up in Michigan, and they make like from Interstate to, you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah, the Walmart ones too.
Yep, yep.
well, I remember getting a new battery for my Kubota that I got new in 2003 from Pep Boys when the first one that said Kubota on it wore out after like 8 years. And the replacement battery, like in 3 or 4 years, was shot. Then I got one from Advanced Auto. And even after putting, bearing grease on the connects, the thing was corroded. It destroyed the cables.
Hmm.
And when I had to have a repair done on that tractor a little over a year ago, they put an Interstate battery on there. And you don't see any of that white stuff at all. Because if those things leak, it's going to destroy the copper. Well, at least we didn't say much about food tonight.
We already talked about it earlier.
Well, growing the food, not actually eating the food as much.
Well, we talked
Well, what
about the peppers or
squash, zucchini, tomatoes.
baked potatoes. Eric had to say, "Well, you have to have loaded baked potatoes.
Well, you have to. It's
Can't have
sacrilege.
just regular potatoes. You have to have
No,
loaded."
you got
Oh,
bacon bits, and onions, and chives, and sour cream, and
Well, the best place around here is that food truck. They put 2 big potatoes. They cut them up and then they load them with butter and then they put like 3 pounds of barbecue on top of them.
ugh.
And then there's sour cream and more butter and barbecue sauce. All that stuff I can't eat.
I would love to try Grace's homemade tater tots.
Now I can make tater tots, but they're not tater. But with chicken, you put cheese and seasoning and chicken, and you grind it up, and then you form it into. This could be tots or it could be chicken nuggets. So, and then you dip it in egg, and then you dip it in pork skin rinds that are ground up, and they turn out really good.
Bake them or deep fry them.
Bake them because frying would be in oil, and you don't want to use that. You could fry them in bacon grease, though.
So when are you going to have a salad there, Charles?
I did last month.
Did you?
Well,
No, I mean lately.
Oh, I haven't had any.
No.
Last time I was over a week ago. For this week, I didn't cheat.
I haven't had a salad with lettuce in a while. My wife says it's too expensive.
Well-
I think I'm going to do a stir fry tomorrow with shrimp and scallops.
Yeah, Bueller's had us selling shrimp. I was thinking about getting it, but I ended up getting their bundle of
You figure
meat.
shrimp is a better buy now than most beef. My wife got a chuck roast. I guess it was, let's see, at ShopRite for $5.99 a pound. A chuck roast. This used to be on sale for $2.99 a pound.
Oh yeah.
And I think the Acme has 5 ounces of beef tenderloin, $13.99 only. So that's almost $39-40 a pound. And they say, from what I've read, Pennsylvania has some of the highest food prices in the country. But like I said, at least I can get rid of the old TVs at Goodwill for free and the microwave.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it. We're already past 11.
Yeah. I need to go find something to eat.
I asked 101 earlier if he was going to go live tonight, and he didn't answer me.
Allegedly.
Yeah, he might be here tomorrow, but don't hold your breath because you might pass out. Yeah. Maybe Sunday. Usually, if he says he's going to go live Saturday, he goes live Sunday.
And he doesn't like to do Sunday because he has to work on Monday. And I thought he was going to go live this past weekend.
I don't know. It seems like it's longer and longer. He keeps me updated on. Did you hear that Trump did this, or you hear about this? And I sent him a video asking him what the heck happened up in Michigan. If you guys didn't know, I think he said it was a south side flooded water main, and it went over into people's houses and then froze.
That's happened.
Frozen in the ice still.
All these cities. What happened to all this infrastructure? It happens almost every year in some big city where some of these water lines are 40, 50 years old, and they're made out of cast iron.
Oh yeah. Ours got replaced here. That was 98 years old.
Wow.
Plumbing, and that's what they've been doing. That's why our road has been so busy because of that.
What are they replacing it with? What kind of pipe?
I don't know. Whatever the new stuff is.
I wonder if they're using PVC or not.
Oh no, these is over the roads or under the roads and stuff. It has to be something stronger.
Because around here you can't use PVC. I won't want it like inside houses with the code. It's got to be copper.
Copper? They don't use.
You can't use plastic water pipes going from the well.
What is that new stuff?
PEX?
Yeah, PEX.
What's that made out of?
It's expandable, so it can withstand freezing and everything.
Yeah, where did all the infrastructure money go, Grace?
Yeah, because I was wondering if that was in his area that was getting, because everybody that was down there had to be evacuated.
Man.
Because it was in the houses. Depending on how high the houses were, but most of them are and it's all frozen.
I saw in the local news tonight. Okay, there's a fire at a dump. I think it's in Camden, New Jersey, where the smoke is going like 20 miles. They said they might have to evacuate people.
Probably from all that crusty underwear.
Well, think of everything that's in the landfill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all the people.
And how did the fire get started?
Well, guys, I will probably see you Sunday on the Vineyard Chicks, unless you want to hang out with us over on the gaming side, listening to music and watching me die all the time.
Good tunes over there.
Yeah, some of that was actually pretty good.
I thought so.
Yeah. I accidentally put it on the rap thing, and I was like, "Oops, bad language stuff. We don't want on there."
Yeah, I don't like any rap music at all.
Well, it depends. Some music's good, and some it doesn't make a difference what genre it is. It's still not very good. But we will catch you guys later. Everybody have a good night and
Have a good night.
Yep, good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah. Thank you. You too. Don't copyright this.